football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Walk On Weekly with your hosts, Nebraska men's basketball players Sam Hoiberg and Jeff Grace III. This is Walk On Weekly, sponsored by the Scarlet Hotel.
All right, welcome in to Tick Weeknights. Harrison Arns behind the board as always come 6 o'clock. If you guys want to join the show, as we got no Royals on the airwaves tonight, they'll be on tomorrow as they got a doubleheader versus the Cardinals. So if you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line. We'll keep it open all night long. It's going to be plenty of good shows here tonight on Tick Weeknights. As usual, we'll have DeMornay Pearsonell, the former Husker special teams threat wide receiver, at 7 o'clock. And to top that one off, of course, What's Brewing Chance of Brewington. That's at 8. And he's got a good guest tonight. The current Husker meeting up with the former Husker, the wide receiver, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. So again, that one's at 8 o'clock. Should be plenty of good shows tonight. But we got Jeff Grace III in here, the other host of Walk On Weekly. No Sam Hoiberg. But Jeff, how's the 4th for you?
It's pretty good. We went to a country club, played bags with Rink, Connor, and Peyton.
So you did like a team thing?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
It was like the people who were in town. Of course, my team won in bags, me and Connor taking the dub. But other than that, it was pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of fireworks and stuff going on.
Are you the pyromaniac type? Like, are you the guy that likes to light them off, or no? You just not really a big deal for you?
Definitely not me lighting it off. But I'll sit back and watch. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah. Do you usually go to shows, or where you grew up from? Was that one where you, as a family, you go out somewhere and watch it, or do you guys light them in your own driveway?
Yeah, usually like close to like Navy Pier. Or like around there. 4th of July actually in high school was really big. So ever since, I mean, it's been a pretty big tradition.
Yeah.
Since growing up.
It's one of my favorites, especially when I turned 21. That's a whole new element to the 4th of July. But
I don't know if it's that or either St. Patrick's Day. Because St. Patrick's Day is definitely up there.
Yeah, that's also another one where you really, until you're 21, you don't, like, because you're going through elementary, you're just wearing green so you don't get pinched. Like, that's the excitement of St. Patrick's Day. Is like, oh, I hope I don't get pinched today. And then as you get older, yeah, those two are up there for me. What's the holiday that's growing on you the most since you've gotten older? Not at all where I thought we were going to start with this one, but since we're here. And then we're going to talk about some USA basketball. If you guys want to chime in, who would you add to that roster? But that, and then give me before we get off the 4th of July, your must-have at 4th of July meal, whether it's like a hot dog, burgers on the grill. What's 4th of July for you?
Which one are you on first?
You can pick either or.
So we'll go with the 4th of July meal. I would say a brat. Brats are really good.
Underrated.
I agree.
You got to get them from a good meat locker, though. You can't be getting like your Walmart brats, because then it's not the same.
Yeah. And then my favorite holiday that's growing on me, I would say St. Patrick's Day.
For all the right reasons that we've discussed, I'm sure. But that being said,
it was just like there was like a parade in my hometown and stuff like that, and then like you'd see all like the families coming together and like celebrating. Obviously, like they weren't their normal selves, but
we kind of had that too, though.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah, because my small town, we always had I don't know how unique it is, but we'd have like a Christmas parade called it the Candlelights Parade, and it's just always bizarre because it's like, negative 10 degrees out usually when that thing rolls around, but for the same reasons, like all the families that come out, kind of cool. I don't know, is that a thing, like Christmas parades? Is that pretty common?
Christmas parades?
Yeah.
No, never heard of it. My family comes together, like my immediate family, like my cousins and uncles and stuff like that. But I don't.
Maybe that's the unique Hartington thing. I said it
like a parade
Sunday, and people were surprised by that, which makes sense because it's freezing outside. Not typically ideal for a parade, especially if you're playing the role of Santa that year. You're freezing your butt off up on that.
True.
But
my family does it. They do it like the night before, and then like stay up till 12. Like,
okay, cool.
Stuff like that.
Nice.
And it's like a different person's house each time. So that's like our family tradition, I would say.
That's always cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when you get through those holidays, you start to remember some of those traditions. Makes you miss home a little bit, but
yeah, and it definitely makes you realize you're getting older.
Yeah. Do you ever get homesick being out here in Lincoln, or no? You do pretty comfortable.
I've been away from home for a while now. I mean, you get kind of used to it, and then obviously we have like some breaks every now and then to visit home. It's nice, like going back home when you haven't been there for a while. Like that part's cool. Then seeing people, catching up with them, stuff like that.
People asking you for tickets for the next upcoming season, I'm sure. Have you got to meet any of the transfer guys yet, or at least get to talk to them? You don't got to give us all the info on it, but
yeah. So I've met everyone besides Burkett, because he's playing for his national team.
Turkey.
Yeah. Yep. So he won't be here, I don't think, until school starts, pretty much.
What do you think about Burkett? Am I saying that last name right? I gotta get the pronunciation.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll be honest. But I think he has a lot of talent.
He's kind of he reminds me of like a pretty simple plug and play for what Rink Mass kind of brought to the table.
Yeah, that would definitely help that void a little bit. Obviously, he won't be Rink Mass, but at the same time, like people want to make the name for themselves, so I think he definitely has the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. Well, do you want to dive into this Olympic team, or do you got anything else left on Husker basketball? That's always the part where, obviously with this off season, there's only so much you guys are doing. You're not really going through the X's and O's, like outside of workouts. How have workouts been going? I guess that's the last thing we can really talk about, because all of that's individual at this point too.
Workouts been going good. We been competing against each other, getting up and down the court. It's been really competitive. I think the thing we're struggling with right now is chemistry. Obviously, that's pretty easy. A lot of teams like getting a lot of transfers and stuff coming in. That's going to be a struggle at the beginning, but I think where we are right now, I think we're making a lot of good strides in the right direction. Yeah,
I'm curious what this offense is going to be, going forward, because obviously, and let's talk a little bit of trades first and signings before we dive into this USA basketball team. Because speaking of Husker hoops, Keisei Tamanaga, he got signed by the Indiana Pacers, but
that's awesome.
What is that like to kind of fill some of that offensive void? Is there any guys that stick out in your head that, just with this way this team's growing, or is it going to be a little bit last year where you think we might have our first 5 games and each game is going to have a different leading score?
I mean, the way the game's played now, it's always going to be someone new a different night.
Especially in Hoiberg's offense feels that way.
Yeah, and like it allows more opportunity for people to like I said, make a name for themselves and also play within the system.
Anybody stand out to you so far that you met? I was like, man, this guy's way more athletic than I first maybe considered.
Probably Gavin.
Really?
Yeah, Gavin's really athletic.
What part of it? Just like the quick reflexes, vertical, or which part?
Like vertical.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he might be have the best vertical on the team.
That's a good one. I wouldn't think of that.
Yeah.
All right. That's a new athlete to watch out there. You get those high flyers.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
But speaking of, we're talking the Huskers. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Keisei Tamanaga gets signed by the Indiana Pacers. Now, I love the fit for him. I think out of all the teams, that one actually makes a lot of sense, simply because you do have like a Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam. He's got some rim protectors to where if the defensive part, which I imagine is going to be the biggest thing for him if he wants to stay around the league, that's a team where they can find a few ways to mask him out there just because of the rim protection. He can kind of force people inside down the lane and just try to get back out there towards the perimeter. But initial thoughts, fit Keisei Tamanaga with the Pacers.
I think it's great. I think he gets to showcase talent. Obviously, him playing with the national team in Japan will be really cool to watch. I know we're all excited for that, rooting for him back here in Nebraska. I think it's great because he's always wanted this opportunity to actually like showcase his skills and possibly potentially get in the NBA. And I think that he's just one step closer.
And I think, what's the biggest challenge for him, you think, in the NBA? Outside of defense, because I think that's the obvious one. And to be fair, that's like every rookie. I don't care how big you are. That's always a hard learning curve.
The biggest challenge?
That he's going to face outside of just the defensive part. Because I think that's a given, especially his size. And then for any rookie out there, that does just take time.
I would say, I was going to say like getting a feel for it, but him playing overseas will help him a lot. Like, implementing that into the NBA. So I don't really think there will be a challenge besides like the defensive stuff, which he has gotten so much better at over the years. And obviously they're going to emphasize that a lot in the NBA when he gets there. But other than that, I don't really see a weakness because he looks way more comfortable dribbling the ball now.
Oh yeah.
He still can shoot it as always.
He's crafty inside,
never going to change.
Too.
Exactly.
Like he never got. I shouldn't even say. I think people caught on eventually, but he's sneaky around the trees.
Yeah, and he can finish around the rim too.
Like at that size, it's pretty impressive.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say there's a challenge, honestly. Besides everything we've mentioned, like obviously he's not as tall as everybody else, but I think the things he can do will implement his size, him being that tall.
Reminds me of like the potential Zach Edey, can have different roles, but in the way they can put those guys out there. As we mentioned a little bit before, he did. He did. John a little bit too. I
Yeah.
like that part. Zach Edey with the Memphis Grizzlies. But yeah, I think that like because you look at a guy like Zach Edey, his strengths are so obvious. Yes, defense, like you can pick his weaknesses apart. Maybe you think he's a step too slow for like the fast pace of the NBA, but you're going to find 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes out there a night where you can just go ahead and put him in there based on the matchups. I don't see why Casey would be any different on the Pacers.
Exactly.
Like, given he's going to have to earn his minutes, but if he, with Casey, he makes 2 threes in a row. The next one, chances it's going in, they go from, whatever his shooting is to damn near 60, 70, 80% when he starts feeling it like that. Like, do you think we can expect him, again, this is optimistic, things go well, but is it realistic to see him get some serious minutes year one?
I can see him making the strides to get up there, but I don't know if he will exactly get like the minutes he's like wanting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he progresses through like the G League over there with like the Maddens, I think it is.
Yep.
And I think he showcases his talents there. I think the coach will be impressed enough to like potentially throw him in at the end of the games and stuff like that. And then like he'll move on up from there. I don't think he'll initially start off getting minutes. Like everyone obviously wants him to get minutes, but I don't think it's realistic to say like he would get minutes right away. I think he's definitely gonna have to work his way up, and I think he definitely will, knowing who Casey Tominaga is.
Yeah, and if we're talking about business too, he's gonna sell some
exactly, and he's a great market. Definitely, and he already just signed with the Curry brand, so that's even bigger of a name for himself. So he's in a great spot, honestly.
Is there a better team that could have picked him up? I honestly thought like just for the sake of insanity, if the Warriors went ahead and got like their Japanese Steph Curry, quite literally,
that would be a lifetime dream of his for sure. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think so.
It feels
I
like
think that really fits him really well.
Otherwise, I was like going to say the Mavericks, but they got Clay, so that's already covered.
Yeah, unless you put him off the bench, you need shooting,
and they still need more defensively too. So Clay is a much better fit for him because I get it. Clay's not the defensive juggernaut that he used to be, but he's still certainly above average.
Yeah, he's definitely still can guard.
And with Casey, you're not going to get that. But with that Pacers squad, I like it. I think that's probably the best team that he probably could have fit and played with. There's probably not one outside of there other than the Warriors simply because of the style of offense. But yeah, I love the fit. Now let's talk about one more trade and see if you can make me feel better about it, because I'm giving the Bulls just a D. If I'm feeling generous, I'm going to give the Bulls a D on just the offseason. The draft was fine. I really don't got too many problems with the draft. I don't think it was a loaded draft to really pick apart anyways, unless you're in that top 10, which even then, I think once you got past the first 5 guys, you were kind of unsure with the rest of them. But DeMar DeRozan, 3-team trade. The Spurs receive Harrison Barnes. The Kings receive DeMar DeRozan. And the Bulls receive Chris Duarte in 2 second-round picks, along with some cash considerations.
See, at first I thought we were going to get Harrison Barnes, but then I guess it was a 3-way trade, so I guess we didn't get much out of that.
No, we didn't get
it. So it's
you need a first-round pick, right, for DeMar DeRozan at the least?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, scrap the 2 second-round picks. You can keep both of those, but just give me 1 first-round pick.
Think about how much he's done for Chicago in general. Like, Chicago wasn't really relevant until him, Caruso, Lonzo Ball. I guess you can throw Levine in there, like, because he was a part of it.
It's the only times of Levine, like, I saw inspired basketball, which may be harsh to say, but, like, you can see it this year. He doesn't really want to be a Bull.
For sure.
Well, I shouldn't say the year that just wrapped up.
And it was like, it made the city more alive. Like, and now it's like, we're back at square one pretty much. But, like, I guess the upside is we have to look forward to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. The Bears got me excited. And if we got time for it, we're going to definitely talk some NFL because I think when you look at the NFC North, that's just going to be interesting as a whole because the Lions are on the come up. I think they proved themselves last year. Green Bay, as much as it kills me, they got their QB locked and loaded with a young wide receiving core that even though that was going to be the biggest problem, Rodgers couldn't figure it out with those guys, so you thought Jordan Love would struggle. They got that connection, one of the youngest wide receiver cores. And then, of course, got the Vikings.
I don't feel too confident about the Vikings, though.
Is it the McCarthy thing? J.J. McCarthy being their guy?
I feel he's going to take him a little bit to adjust right away because I don't know how I feel about, like, yes, they have Jefferson, but who else do they have after that?
Yeah, I mean,
I
still got
think
Addison.
They have a tight end or some. I don't remember what his name is, but I don't really know what much they have after that.
Yeah, they still got the tight end. They still got Addison. I think Addison's still down there as well. Yeah, Justin Jefferson. I mean, they got some weapons offensively, I think his main job is just going to be don't piss the guys off, because they just lost Kirk Cousins, and Justin Jefferson swore by Kirk Cousins like nobody else. You want to make sure at the end of that year that it's clear that it's your job and the guys on that roster can trust you and they want to continue their careers there. Because otherwise you are going to be heading into this kind of rebuild era, and you're not going to be able to, there's going to be no real rhyme or reason to keep guys on these massive salaries if you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the job for him. It's going to be unique. I mean, do you trust him? Because when he played for Michigan, it wasn't the fact that he was inaccurate that you couldn't rely on him. It's just he wasn't asked to do a lot. He never had the game weighing on his shoulders.
For sure.
They're typically up and they're kind of bleeding clock anyways against most of those teams. Now, he played good in games where he needed to, but again, he wasn't throwing for a crazy amount of yards, just making key passes when needed, typically not too much further than 20 yards. What do you like? What's left to be seen for JJ McCarthy to give you confidence?
So crazy story. I've actually played JJ McCarthy growing up.
No kidding? Where at?
So he was in LaGrange and I was in Elmhurst, but we played like feeder, and we almost played in high school. So I kind of knew him personally, and he's a great kid, obviously, and he's matured a lot, grown, developed. He went to IMG for a little bit. I think that helped him so much. Then he went to Michigan. So he's in a great spot. I just don't know if the people around him, because to come in as a rookie, especially coming in the Vikings, filling Kirk Cousins' spot, there's a lot they're going to depend on you for. And as we know, if it doesn't go well, it falls back on the quarterback.
Yep.
Immediately.
Or the coach.
Yeah.
Someone's the scapegoat.
It's always somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if Minnesota's the right place for his development. I think there possibly could have been a better place. I think the Raiders probably could have been a good fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Minnesota's going to be tough because that's a really live atmosphere and a really harsh fan base.
Yeah. Could you say the same about Michigan, though?
Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I feel that's the one thing they did get right.
But I feel like he had a lot more weapons around him.
Oh, for sure.
Because they were talented all across the board, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, and he had the time he's going to have in the pocket in the NFL is going to be a lot less than what he had at Michigan.
Exactly. People are going to actually come for him.
Yeah, I mean, he could set up a whole campfire. Michigan, the offensive line was ridiculous, especially when they know the play call. The defensive rush. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how good their scouting was. If it was just purely on the which side of the ball it was, but
I just understood what you were saying.
Oh yeah, I feel like they got off the hook still a little too easy for that.
Never gets old.
It's a little bit ridiculous that is our national champion, and they did get found guilty of cheating. But play on.
How much did they beat us by last year?
I mean, it was over by the first quarter. 20, 30.
We were in it most of the game.
Michigan? Last year?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Our pride was not even. I remember my mom came to that game. I felt bad for her. That was I think that was her first trip to Lincoln for college football that year. She typically makes a few. That was the first one, though. I don't think she made it past half.
That's a rough one to start with. Yeah. I don't know if a lot of people made it past half, but it's all good. We got this year. Bounce back. It's all good.
Yeah. What has the student section been like? Because I know you actually frequent the games, and I'll be honest, it took a weird turn. Because when I was going to UNL, and it was bizarre. We got to the Scott Frost era, and it felt like the people there were no longer even Husker football fans.
Really?
In terms of the student section, they were definitely rooting for him, but it was almost more of just a joke, how are we going to lose this time? And didn't see, and maybe just a way to cope.
A lot of optimism.
Yeah, not even optimism. It's just maybe it was a way to cope, but a lot of sarcasm, just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, just waiting for the game to fall apart, and the emotions behind it just were not. They didn't really care. Maybe because they're expecting it. So, yeah, I mean, what is the vibes in the student section today with a program that hasn't been to a bowl game since 2016?
I think it's great. I think it's in the place where we need it to be. There's so much pride going on. People carry themselves really well here. They really care about football, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say people are actually into the games.
I can believe that. To be fair, I was catching the tail end.
Yeah, so people are I would say people are more locked in than ever now.
I know Colorado, they're going to be locked in.
Oh, for sure. That's gonna be packed.
Got to get through.
I talk about with my teammates all the time, but that game's gonna be packed.
I think that's gonna be. Well, there's gonna be so much emotion. That's gonna be an emotionally charged game. As much as you don't want to make it,
and it's a late night game.
Yeah,
I think that would be the starting point of most people staying the whole game.
I think so. I'm going to be shocked if anybody leaves.
Exactly.
Especially with the way Stanford came all the way back against Colorado. Yeah. Colorado is a team where we've seen that even if they're up ahead on you big, they haven't necessarily stepped on your throat. Like they'll give in, get maybe a little too comfortable. Now, again, that was year one with Deion. I'm expecting a much better version of Colorado, but I'm expecting a much better version of Nebraska at the same time. It is unique, though. I mean, it's just a total polarity of two styles of college football clashing. Not saying Deion's doing it the wrong way or Matt Rule's doing it the right way, but Deion clearly not worried about the high school recruits. Matt Rule very focused on it. In addition with the portal, not quite the same as Dabo over on Clemson. He's just been pushing away all of that for as long as he can. But I mean, year two with Deion, what are you expecting for him? Because I think he kind of was saved a little bit by how great the beginning of the season was, because the rest of it was really bumpy.
Yeah. I mean, him being Deion Sanders, obviously everyone expects the world.
Yeah. NIL is going to kill it.
That says it by itself. But I feel like you still got to give him enough time to adjust, because yes, HBCU is a lot different, but also now he's at Colorado. There's definitely high expectations because he has a lot of NFL players coming back and also training the kids as well. So like having that, and like, I don't know, there's just like always going to be high expectations with Deion.
I'll be honest. I don't really necessarily buy into a lot of the noise.
There's so much noise around it.
Yeah, and like sometimes I'm like, I don't see a whole lot of players really with the same mindset. It feels like the disgruntled few.
Yeah, some kids definitely, you can tell like they just don't want to be a part of it. But some kids, I guess, like feed off of it, like the energy coming towards them, because I guess like it becomes like the brand becomes well known and stuff like that. It's just interesting because Colorado football was never really relevant until like I guess now.
No, it's crazy. Even when it was Adrian Martinez when we first started really dipping back into this. Well, I shouldn't say dipping back into it. When we started playing Colorado, these games definitely had more of an electric atmosphere. You could feel the Colorado rivalry, but like when Deion got there and Matt Rule got here at the exact same time, and then there was the showdown between the year one coaches, and it was already kind of an old rivalry that was building up because they're both on a race for this rebuild with two different styles completely. And then, of course, the meeting on the Buffalo and the quote unquote, however you want to look at it, it was disrespectful according to Colorado. It was just a prayer that they do every single time according to Nebraska. Either way, there was drama behind it because that rivalry is 100% real.
There's always going to be drama.
Yeah, I mean, what is the best rivalry? Nebraska football rivalry that you grew up in? Not all time.
Like today?
That you grew up in, that you've got to witness.
Like right now?
Yep, you personally. Because you can have...
Before the Colorado game, I would say Oklahoma.
Okay.
I didn't know it was that big.
So the 50th, the Century game?
Yeah.
That was the one that got used?
Yeah. That first half was electric.
I didn't realize how big of a rivalry that was either, which is surprising. Because my parents, obviously big Husker football fans, but I remember they were calling me about it, talking about tickets. Like, we got to find a way to go to this game. Are you coming? And I was like, man, you guys haven't been this excited for a game in a long time. And it's like, you don't understand. Like, you just simply do not understand how big this was. And they were right. That game absolutely lived up to the expectations.
Crazy.
That being said, though, went a little bit off script, though, but that's all right. We can always talk college football here at 93.7 The Ticket. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and throw it to break. At some point, we'll talk about this USA basketball team, who should be added, who should maybe be reconsidered, but don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling here. We got Jeff Grace III, Walk On Weekly, Harrison Arns on the board. Talk to you in a little bit.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers. It's official. Wedding season is here. And we know that every detail counts. From bridal party gifts to the finishing touches for the bride and groom, discover our exclusive selection of watches and fine jewelry. Did you know we even offer in-house engraving? Celebrate your special day with a personal touch and a timeless gift they'll cherish forever. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from a program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to Walk On Weekly. Here are your hosts, Sam Hoiberg and Jeff Grace III on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. This is Walk On Weekly. We got Jeff Grace III of Husker Basketball here with me to my left. If you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. We got about a little more than 10 minutes here. We're going to talk some USA basketball. That thing's starting up. The guys are starting to get in training. Let's just go through the roster, and then we'll see if there's anybody on this list that you think should be on this, that if there's any errors in who they're bringing with them. They got Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. Anybody on that list that you would take out and swap in for somebody else?
I don't think so. The only reason why is because if you look at the position, it's like, who else would you bring?
A 3-point shooter.
Like who?
Clay.
Clay?
Yeah. I think he needs to be on this team. Just because of I think anytime you're going to play that foreign ball, you need 3-point shooters. We've brought athletes before, and it doesn't necessarily mean a gold medal. You need some knockdown shooters.
It's true.
Now, given LeBron shoots 40%, which is crazy that he shot that from a 3-point line last year, but you really, like, if we're being serious about your true 3-point shooters, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron, if you're feeling generous, if you believe it's going to be consistent. Again, he's not a bad 3-point shooter, but you don't think of him as one. Like, to me, that's where this team's lacking. They really don't have 3-point shooters.
I feel like they're talented enough to not like to be fine, but I feel like they're talented enough to figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah, but that's the excuse we always use, and it hasn't always worked. Like, on talent, we're better, quote unquote.
I don't know. This team's stacked, though.
It is stacked.
This team's stacked.
Now, I'm saying
top to bottom. This team is stacked.
This is my favorite on paper. Don't get me twisted. Like, I'm not picking this team to lose. But at the same time, I'm not going to lose my mind if they do.
But yeah, I could definitely see if it falls down to 3-point shooting. That'd be where they probably would slack.
Yeah, because Anthony Davis being your big is good, but you got Joel Embiid as well, so you feel pretty stacked with the rim protection. So it's really, to me, just 3-point shooting. That's the only thing this roster is missing. Because Anthony Edwards, he's fine, but that's probably the guy I take out. As impressive as Anthony.
That's the guy you take out?
Yeah.
You replace him with Clay?
That's who then Clay. All right, because otherwise you're looking at, or Tyrese Halliburton. You know what? I'm sorry. Tyrese Halliburton, you're out. Because you could argue Ant made his resume during FIBA.
Yeah.
That he was the key part. And he's working with Steve Kerr again, so there's going to be some continuity there. But I think it's
then who would you put in with the guard spot if you take out Tyrese?
Well, Tyrese playing that point guard.
So who would you put in?
I'm okay. There's enough point guards on this team. You can throw Klay Thompson in there. Yeah, I think as long as that's a shooting guard or guard, you have enough ball handlers on this team to get it done. I'm not too worried about that element of it. Because right now there's not a ball handling playmaking situation. It's simply you need more 3-point shooters. I don't need Klay Thompson to handle the ball. You got Steph Curry for that. Hell, I don't care. Anthony Edwards can do it. You know, if I'm taking out Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, even though he's not the best at it, that's fine. LeBron James, he brings the ball up the court half the time anyways. Like, there's enough. There's enough there to bring the ball up the court.
True. I don't know. That's interesting.
So you would keep steadfast with what they have. No switches.
No.
We better win. It's just.
I mean, the only team I can see that could really compete is Canada.
Yeah, RJ Barrett, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kelly Olynyk, the most underrated long-haired center. He's how long has he been in the league now? Was that a Greg Popovich sneaky pickup when he got drafted?
Might have been.
I think that was Greg Popovich's doing when he was in getting the TJ Splitters of the world, Kelly Olynyk. I think he was one. I think I was that genre. But yeah, he's been in the league forever. RJ Barrett, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander,
Dylan the villain.
Yeah, Brooks is out there. I always forget he's Team Canada. They get a squad.
He said he came out and said he was like, they're gonna have to play defense. The USA team, but I think they're gonna be fine playing defense. I don't think that's the problem that they're gonna slack on.
Yeah, it's to me that part of
because matchup wise, they can really guard 1 through 5 for real.
They should be able to.
Yeah,
if their mind's in the right spot, which I'd be very surprised too if this team doesn't come out, because I will give it. This is one of the rosters that has a good mix of like the young and old.
Yeah.
So I feel like the veteran leadership will take over, especially because most of these guys on this team are on the way out the door too. Like
and
Steph
have been
Curry.
there already.
Yeah, this is going to be their last chance for a lot of these guys to get that gold medal. Like if they don't get it this one, they got to wait another 4 years. Ron James 4 years. I don't think he's playing. Kevin Durant, he's not playing. Anthony Davis, who knows how his injuries. Joel Embiid, like some of these guys, even if you want to say they'll get another shot, just injury wise, they are getting to that point.
Unrealistic. It's gonna be interesting. I think the Olympics is a really cool time. One sport I get involved in is track and field.
Track and field, really? Why is that?
It's so intriguing. Like, I don't know. It's just like
I watched field events.
Adrenaline, like, just gets through the roof, and like you get like into it. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Have you heard about the enhanced Olympics that they're trying to pull off?
No, it's that.
It's crazy. It's basically just Olympics with whatever they're going to approve some, but it's just like a roided Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, it's not affiliated with the actual Olympics, but it's called the enhanced Olympics. It seems dangerous. I'm not signing off on it because it seems a little crazy.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of lawsuits potentially there, but yeah, that is a possibility. But yeah, when I go to the Olympics, the ones I always pick up watching that I don't expect to is curling.
Curling
gets intense.
Is that where they?
Yep.
Yeah, that is intense. That is intense.
Canada's just got.
That's a good one.
I think Canada's the dynasty out there in the world. Makes sense, but yeah, what's another good field event or just any track event that you end up catch yourself watching?
Track.
track or any of them?
For track, it'd probably be like a relay or like the hurdles. Hurdles are really cool. Swimming can get interesting.
If you got Katie Ledecky or Michael Phelps, yeah, you feel pretty good about watching it.
Trying to think of what other sports. There's volleyball, right?
I don't know. I don't think there was volleyball.
There's not volleyball. I don't think so. Trying to think what else I watch.
Water polo is not one I can consistently watch, but I'll turn it on for a little bit just to see how crazy it is.
Gymnastics is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Women's gymnastics, Simone Biles.
Yeah, the other one's like definitely pole vault. Going back to track, like anytime you just get to the field events, it's crazy what some of these people do.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
I'm always a big fan of like high jump, pole vault, just to see the insane verticals of some of these athletes. I can't remember the dude from France who broke the record for pole vault, but like, it'd be scary coming down that. It's like falling down 3 stories from a building after that vault.
Yeah. When does the Olympics start?
Pretty shortly. Yeah, shortly. I mean, basketball's starting up.
Because it'll be, I think it's around the summer league.
Yeah, we can find the date here, but give or take, maybe like a couple weeks out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I
sounds about right.
Pull up the date here. What other teams outside of Canada do you think might pose a threat for USA basketball trying to bring home the gold?
Brazil.
Like Brazil? Who does Brazil all have?
I feel like Brazil is always like pretty solid. Actually, no.
I'm gonna throw out France just because the Giants they got
France.
inside.
Yeah, France is obviously.
Rudy Gobert and Victor
that's a
Wembanyama.
given. That's a given.
Just see Turkey not score any points.
Yeah.
It was in their exhibition versus when both of those guys were on the court, they couldn't score.
Brazil has Leonardo Barbosa. I know that for sure. They have Patty Mills. I don't know who else they have after that, but Brazil's always usually pretty solid.
Yeah, they got Marcelo Huertas. That is crazy. I remember when he used to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. Huertas is going to be on that, one of the starters. Not going to be a ton of guys on here that stick out, not NBA talent, but yeah, they are sneaky. One
That's the thing is, not a lot of people in the Olympics stick out, but then like they get it done.
Yeah. Speaking of Canada, they got Dort too. I forget about that.
Yep.
They got a defensive dog in Dort.
And they got Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, Gafford. I think he's Canadian as well. So yeah, it's coming.
And they have Zach Edey.
Zach Edey's a good pickup for him, and as you mentioned, playing well already in summer league. Such a steal. I still can't get over the Zach Edey, how he slipped that far, because he to me seemed like such a clear. You're with K-State, like you're gonna find 15 minutes for him. He's a giant, and he's a healthy giant at that. He hasn't had one of the most consistently healthy and most accoladed college players we've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he went 9. Seems like he should have been higher.
I agree.
Like at what point would you draft Zach Edey? You think like probably 5?
Well, the draft's all about who you need.
That is true.
So like it's different. A lot of teams vary. It all depends on what they need at that specific time, because some people fall, some people don't. I mean, how you think about it is the business. So like, if you don't get that person, you got to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes in the facts of.
And to your point, Zach Edey's a perfect fit for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, they definitely needed a big.
Mhm.
And I think they still have Steven Adams.
Yeah, I can't remember if they're doing this because his contract is about, I think it expires this year as a short, and then give themselves some insurance. Zach Edey, rookie deal. You don't have to worry about paying him that much. And rookie that you can play. Anytime you got a rookie that can play, that gives you so much leverage in a lot of deals. See that in the NFL in particular, like, especially the QBs. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. We got one more segment, Walk On Weekly. Jeff Grace III of Nebraska basketball to my left. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Evan Cooper was Matt Rule's dude, right, with prospect identification. How do you think Nebraska's philosophy and process changed with Evan Cooper out the door?
That's such a great question. Turn back towards, Sean Padden and Ryan Callahan and Vince Ginta and those guys that are in the recruiting room. They're no slouches.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join us each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon for Youth Football 101 with Tank Perry of the Nebraska Red Wolves of 7-on-7 football. The future of the sport depends on the foundation set at a young age. Hear those stories and more each Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I'd like Bill to be say next to you, so when you say on 3, he goes,
that'd be awesome. That would be. Steve Sipple on 3. You should be there just for that.
That's all I said for 3 days.
Kirk Francis, Steve Sipple from the Husker Online on 3 Network.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you came
$3.99 per pack with a limit of 4, fresh salmon for $9.88 per pound, and 24 packs of Michelob Ultra for just $16.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn. Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Back to Walk On Weekly. Here are your hosts, Sam Hoiberg and Jeff Grace III on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Walk On Weekly. Jeff Grace III, the host, as always, to my left. Wrapping this one up, we were talking about USA basketball. A few interesting comments. The first one that came up, Jason Tatum stating, this team could not beat the Boston Celtics. Are you buying it?
He said the whole team?
The USA team would not beat the Boston Celtics.
I never heard that. But I think they have enough to match him.
Yeah, I think he's just defending his team.
Yeah.
Being a good teammate.
I mean, he's coming off a championship, so
yeah,
I could see that.
That's the
but
thing you say.
If we're being realistic, I think they definitely have enough to beat Boston Celtics.
Yeah, if we're being realistic, I think that's like, 5-game series.
Yeah.
Celtics maybe get one.
For sure.
Yeah.
You're talking about the USA team.
Yeah. Just made me laugh. It's just like, it's just Tatum being a good teammate. Let's not take that one too literal there. I don't think he probably does believe it, but I don't think he'd be surprised if the Celtics lost that roster. The other one, who's going to be the emerging star? Who's going to be the leader of this team?
The leader?
Yeah.
I think you got to look at Kevin Durant.
See, that's the last thing I see. Kevin Durant's never felt like a leader.
You can't go to LeBron. I'm not saying you can't, but at the same time, like, I feel like he's old where, like, I feel like you could rely on Steph. That'd probably be the best option. But I feel like it's going to fall back on Kevin Durant.
See, Kevin Durant, though, is always the leader that just, like, purely through play.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're saying that.
But I think if it was, like, vocal, it'd probably go to LeBron.
Have to be, yeah.
Yeah. If it was, like, vocal, definitely go to LeBron.
Which young guy's going to emerge? That seems to be a trend with these. Which young guy's going to, yeah. He's going to come out.
I think Tyrese is going to spook a lot of people.
Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's Devin Booker.
But, it's
got to be Book, right? I feel like he could have a huge
He has so much potential. It's insane.
Well, it's Phoenix Suns need a leader right now. So Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, one of you guys figure it out, because one of you guys is going to have to lead this team for the Suns.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. D-Book actually could be up there. I forgot about him, not going to lie. But I don't know. He's streaky to me.
Well, that's the thing. It's like some of these, because Devin Booker's at the point where we're already starting to look past him. Like you mentioned it. Like we're kind of forgetting about him on this roster because it's like Ja Morant, it's Tyrese Halliburton now, it's Jason Tatum, it's Anthony Edwards. Like all these young guys have already kind of started to surpass him in terms of like what we think his ceiling is.
He's still a bucket though. He's still a walking bucket.
But when they needed him most, like he never took over that Phoenix Suns team.
It's hard to at the same time. I mean, like we've always said, there's always one ball at the end of the day, so there's not much you can really do.
Demand for it more. Like
you could,
yeah.
But if we're being honest, it's going to go to KD.
It is going to go to KD, and that's why, unfortunately for Budenholzer, I think this thing's a dud next year too. I got no faith on the Suns.
I got faith, but I don't know. I don't know how much faith I got.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I should say I got 5th seed faith.
I like 5th seed.
Yeah.
In the West, I think that's a win. From where we were last year, I think that's a win.
Yeah, with a 6th seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go up one. I mean, you could make that argument simply for the fact that OKC's, they just got Alex Caruso. I imagine they're better or very close to what their record was last year.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
But they have to, it's going to be hard to retain that same thing they had last year.
I think they'll be all right. I think Shai
I think they will too, but I don't think
they'll
they'll get number 1 again.
No, I'm saying like 1's tough, but in that range, like top 3.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they're top 3 again.
For sure.
The Lakers,
I don't think Minnesota will be up there.
Nah,
not that high at least.
No, the Minnesota's so hard. Every time it feels like they have something going, the next season's always just the dumpster fire.
I also like New Orleans. I like DeJounte Murray. I like that pickup for them.
That is nice.
I think that's going to help them a lot.
Pelicans is just unfortunately they're stuck in the play-in just because the West is so good. Like,
yeah.
I think the Lakers, the Pelicans, even the Rockets, I think you can kind of all pack those guys in the same.
I don't feel too good about the Rockets.
That's what I thought last year. And then you know what? They
did get hot at the end.
Mm-hmm. They were fighting there at the very end with the villain Brooks himself pushing that team to heights never seen before. More than James Harden ever could.
I don't know. James Harden was averaging whatever he was.
Yeah, he was just having But Chris Paul, and they did get to the Western Conference Finals and almost beat one of the best Golden State Warriors teams we've ever seen. So
he was having the ball.
Yeah, I think
that was a cold James Harden. That was like prime James Harden.
Yeah, I knew that he was cool because my dad, who is just no longer an NBA fan, was like, "Who's this James Harden guy?" I'm like, he was all in. He's like, "I've never seen anything like it."
He was efficient. Like if you needed a bucket, he could get you one right away.
Well, that's when his highlight reels were taking a whole new level. That was the first time we see him hit the ankle breaker and then just point and wait. Like, no, wait, you got to get up. I'm gonna wait for you to get up so you can see this. And then they get up, look at him. Okay, I'll shoot. Like that is just a crazy level of disrespect.
Those were the days.
We're moving
Didn't they have
on.
Corey Brewer?
Yeah, they did.
And PJ Tucker.
I forgot about Corey Brewer. PJ Tucker. This is when he was a little
Didn't they have
more.
Nene?
I don't know about that. I think it might have been in that era, but Clint Capella, was he on that roster as well for a little bit?
I think he might.
I think they had Clint Capella in there. Where's Clint Capella at these days? He was like one of the most
I think
promising.
he's in Atlanta.
That's right. Okay.
I don't know. Atlanta could be so much better, but I don't know what they're gonna do now. Losing DeJounte Murray.
They really
it's gonna be tough.
Lost all their hope when they made that deep run Eastern Conference Finals with Trae Young, and everyone was like,
beat the Knicks.
Yep. And that's my fear for the Timberwolves. Or excuse me, not the Timberwolves. Yeah, the Timberwolves, because they made it to the Western Conference Finals. Like that's kind of my fear for them is
like you don't think they'll ever like
just
come back from it, kind of thing.
Because like once you get there, it's hard to be that hungry for it again.
For sure.
And you're also, if it's in the East, different story. You're in the West, like I'm hard pressed to think that you might, if it's like 2 years in a row where the Nuggets get you, and now it's the Mavericks, now it's OKC, they get you. Like that stuff fizzles out pretty quickly, especially in the NBA world. The coach gets fired before you know it.
Definitely, especially in today's world. Doesn't matter what the coach does.
That's my fear for the Timberwolves, simply because I don't know what it is about Rudy Gobert as well, but players just seem to get tired of him after a few years. Yeah, I don't know. His teammates seem to get exhausted by it. I'm not saying it's true, but it certainly was for Donovan Mitchell. Like he was done with it.
Whoa. I mean, at that point, if you gave me COVID, I think I'd be mad too.
Yeah. Well, the way he handled that whole thing was disastrous.
I think that was it just says for itself.
Yeah, hindsight being 2022, really just
that was what started it all.
Yeah,
honestly,
it was. Making jokes about it.
There were some interesting days. Man, I do not want to go back to that.
I think it was the next day I was watching Pelicans Kings, and they stopped. Like they were in the layup lines, and they stopped it. And I remember thinking about that moment with Rudy Gobert, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, you're gonna look." I knew what the storm was coming for him. I'm like, "You're gonna be in a wave of trouble here."
I do not want to go back to that at all.
I think he had to get like an apology for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, be a statement.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I'm so glad we're out of those times. What a crazy time.
Thank God, because that was the most interesting time I think I will ever have to share with my kids.
I couldn't believe, like, at one point people were, now if you did this, nothing wrong with it. I get it. But you're paying money to have your cardboard at the game. Like, I never got that one. Now, how spending money how you like, but I mean, what a crazy era.
People spend money in different ways, I guess.
Hey, and you know what? I don't have money to burn like that, so maybe that's my problem. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for us. Don't go anywhere, though. Like I said, we got the Don't Punt Hour, DeMarne Piersonell up next. One from the text line before we get out of here. Talking about USA basketball. He said, we losing to Canada.
He's ever losing to Canada?
Yeah, unknown texter. Got some faith in Canada there. Who knows? Might be a Canadian listener. Yeah. But don't go. Like I said, we're going to keep rolling here on Take a Weeknight. Shout out Jeff Grace III for filling in on time. As always, we'll talk to you again next week.